I was in the dock area as it started in our area. And if you studied or looked at history, the Viet Cong mostly attacked militarily important sites. They attacked police departments, they attacked radio stations, they attacked headquarters, they attacked the embassy, and the embassy was just several blocks down from the docks where I was at. So that was all going on. The Cholan stuff was going on. The racetrack had some big things going on. So it encompassed that whole area. The guys that were doing most of the fighting initially were MPs. Probably one of the least strategically important areas in this whole thing is the civilian docks. The other side of the canal, there was junk going on down there. But one dingling Viet Cong probably climbed up the wrong crane, and there's some cranes that when the ship didn't have strong enough or appropriate cranes to lift the stuff out of their cargo hull, there was a gigantic crane, just monstrous, that would reach down and get things up. And there was a cabin inside the crane that on the top of the crane that was probably 12 foot by 12 foot or 10 foot by 10 foot, and you could look around and peek out, and that you drive the crane over and pick it up. Well, some knucklehead sniper got up there and started shooting. Well, myself and then one or two other guys dove under some trucks. We did get issued weapons, but they were locked up in the hotel. you know, big freaking deal. So here we are working our usual job, unloading ships, and now this knucklehead climbs up there with a rifle, and everybody scatters, and it was an militarily unimportant area, so they didn't have extra MPs to come rescue a couple clerks under a truck in the harbor area. So I don't, to ask me exactly how long I was into the truck, to me it seemed like I was there probably a whole month, But was it a day? Was it a half a day? Was it 2 days? I'm not remembering exactly. I'm not staking my life on it, but it seemed real long. And I know that we were hungry and thirsty, and we peed down underneath that truck, and part of it was because you're scared, and part of it because you just needed to pee. And but this guy knew we were down there, and he kept shooting around the truck, maybe thinking a ricochet would get us, and or maybe he was shooting at some other people also. But eventually, seemed like the next day to me. Really, I don't think it was right. I know it wasn't right away because it was way long. And some MPs came roaring up with their Jeep and the machine gun on top, and they took care of him in no time and rushed us back to the hotel. Then at the hotel, it was just a hotel down an alley. It was, let's change that. It was just a building down an alley, and it was probably housing for Vietnamese families, and we lived in their rooms. Maybe it was a Vietnamese hotel for stevedores that came in on the ships and things. So it was just bedrooms with showers. Every room had its own shower, and there was one floor had a big mess hall in it, so we'd get, we had civilian cooks fix us breakfast if we were there for breakfast. And then on the rooftop, it was a place where we had lounge chairs, like you'd have at a beach, long, lounge chairs. So we were sent in two places. We were sent at the front door. There was a cement, there was sandbags, and there were culverts, round cement culverts, and it was cut out in the back. You would get it in it and defend the front entrance of the hotel, or more than likely you were up on the roof, which is 5 stories up, and you're given your M14 and a dozen magazines. And this is again probably the only thing that's less strategically important than the docks where the civilian bags of rice came in. But here we were with our helmet and our cut-off blue jeans and T-shirts and our M14 on the roof waiting for the Viet Cong to come charging down our alley because we had buildings all around us. So it was, that was quite a deal. What was interesting, when you're up on the roof, we saw all the fighting all over, and particularly we could see the dock and the other side of the dock, other side of the Saigon River. We weren't on the Mekong, we were on the Saigon River, and that's where the ships would come into the Saigon River at Vung Tau, and it would be about 40 miles up, 25 to 40 miles upriver to the port area of Saigon. And so the river was pretty big to get all these freighters in there. But on the other side, we watched helicopters, doing runs, bombing runs or machine gun runs, and tracers going all over the place. And we could turn around and then look into the city, and we could see the same thing going on all over the city, particularly towards Cholan. As a young guy who was brought up to be a clerk, very little military training, my whole goal was to track merchandise, not defend a civilian hotel in downtown Saigon. So that was my Tet experience.